Good morning, this is TCR, TroyCommunityRadio.com. I'm Clint Myers on 107.1 WTJN. Time now for the Mayor's Report, and with me is Mayor Mike Beamish.
I am glad to be here, Clint and David and all the people listening out there. It's let's just hope it thinks spring.
That's all we can do, I think,
think that's right.
think spring, because we're not seeing very much of it right now.
We are in Ohio. The weather changes, and it has
Yes.
proven to be that case. It changes frequently.
Well, we occasionally get a day that feels like spring,
Yeah,
and then
teases.
then we get flurries after that.
I put away my winter coat twice so far. So. Okay.
I've been ready to put the Christmas tree back up. I'm just not quite sure what to do. You had council this past Monday.
Well, we sure did. It was on Monday, April 16th, and we had a number of resolutions. We did have one ordinance that moved to another reading, and it's dealing with Stonebridge Meadows planned development. There's some issues out there that they'd like to see, the neighbors would like to see resolved. Brock Heath lives out that way, and he asked for a third reading to continue discussions there, and I guess we've had some good conversations. Our engineering staff was there, our development director, assistant director was there, and met with Brock and other residents. So we're working to try to find some resolutions to some of their issues before they look at the final plat section.
Okay.
We did have some resolutions.
Oh, let's talk about the resolution.
The resolutions there were four, and all of them pretty much maintenance type items. I, along with Stan Kegley, are members of the hazard mitigation team. That's in the Miami County. We are members of that, and so one of the things we do every 5 years is renew that agreement, so that if we do have any natural disasters or man-made disasters of any kind, we can apply for FEMA funding and assistance, and that has to be in place prior. So council passed that 9-0. It's just a multi-jurisdictional agreement, and Troy participates in that.
Okay.
The other one's a paving program. You and I and everybody, we always talk about the many potholes. This has been unseasonable in terms of hot, cold, rain, snow, ice, and so it doesn't do well for streets.
No, it doesn't.
So you have seen our street maintenance crew out, along with you'll see veteran teams out there changing lines. So we've had a lot of road work being done, and so council approved $832,000 for paving programs to help assist and keeping our streets free and safe. So not free, but I mean free of debris
right.
and potholes and everything else associated.
Trying to get things all ready to go for summer, and then we won't have to worry about this once we get there.
And we have other major projects going on. So we have a lot to do, but I hope people understand it's all for the good and for the future. We also had a sanitary sewer relining project bid. Again, all these are budgeted items from earlier in this year. We've thought this through, and we know that, but we have to approve as we go and approve those projects. The bigger item was the $1,040,000 project, and this is for the UV disinfection system replacement project, taking the old, putting in new, and this is from the wastewater treatment plant. So it's important to all citizens.
This is something we need to stay on top of.
We need to stay on top of, and council approved that 9-0, and they'll move forward with that. Those are the four, I call them street maintenance or service maintenance projects, all important to have in place.
Okay. Well, I know we're all excited to see the streets free and clear and they get all that done. But it can be an aggravation while they're doing it, because sometimes you turn down that street and it's like, oh.
Yeah, you see street closed.
Right.
And it allows you to get a good view of the community because you can take a different route.
Well,
I always look at the optimistic side of things.
Exactly. And anybody who says, well, they're not doing anything, go find one of those streets that they're working on and you'll see how much work they are doing.
They're always out there,
Yes.
and the street crews do, and they do care about the job they're doing. But this has been an unusual winter and spring.
Yes.
So please understand they're doing the best they can with the manpower that they have available and the equipment.
And when they're done, it will be better.
It'll be better, and as we move on in large street projects, you'll see those improvements as well. So we're moving forward.
Wonderful. Now, you were manning the grill earlier this week, too, on the First Responders Day at the Caldwell House.
Well, I've got to give a big shout out and thank you to Elizabeth Carroll and the team there at the Caldwell House. They wanted to honor our first responders, fire and police, not just for the Troy community, but throughout Miami County. And they asked if I'd like to participate, and of course, anything that shows that we do appreciate their efforts. You know, we've been going through DARE graduations. People don't realize in Troy we have 3 DARE officers, SROs, that are law enforcement people that they're in the elementary, the junior high, and the high school. And I think it doesn't completely protect all of our students for safety reasons, but it sure allows for a trust relationship, a respect for law enforcement, and a presence in all the buildings. So we're doing that. So Caldwell House wanted to honor our first responders for all their efforts to provide safety in Miami County and in the Troy community, and I want to thank them for their efforts.
Absolutely. We keep saying it, think spring. You probably had your hat and gloves on while you were working the grill.
Well, I'll tell you, it is spring. And the reason I know spring, I look at my calendar, Earth Day. Earth Day is a day where we look at our environment, and a lot of people are out planting, and we're just trying to protect our environment. And Earth Day is Sunday, April 22nd. So tomorrow will be Earth Day on the 22nd. But right before that, we had a Tree City USA awards program in Miamisburg, and I'm very proud to say that Troy received our 32nd straight Tree City USA award, and that is because we do have a beautification committee, we have a policy for tree replacement, and we have arborists on staff that help us to protect our trees. And when you see trees come down, usually it's for a reason. They're either dead or
ag spore. There's several things now that are getting into the trees.
And those are taken in consideration, but we do have plenty of trees in our Troy area community, and our park system is...
But there's replanting that goes on, too.
Absolutely. And so that takes place. But I want to also talk forward a little bit and invite people to come out to the Arbor Day Celebration. Usually follows Earth Day. And that will be on Friday, Minky Park. At 10 o'clock in the morning, we invite elementary students to come participate in tree planting. This year at Minky Park, they will be dedicating a tree to Bill Hobart, his long legacy in Troy, and lives close to Minky Park. And so we will have our beautification committee there, and they will be honoring Mr. Hobart, but also inviting our young people to participate, again, to show an appreciation and a respect for our land and trees and an environment.
Okay. You've got a public meeting that is coming up the 26th, and that is a public meeting on the Sherwood Shopping Center.
And that is really important because we're looking at a reinvestment opportunity there, which would mean opportunities for redevelopment of that whole area. Many people have been concerned with the Sherwood shopping area. We are as a city as well. So we're looking at all the possibilities and what the recommendations might be to re-energize the Sherwood Shopping Center. And so we're going to have a public meeting on Thursday, April 26th. Be from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock. It's in the area that former Backdoor Smokehouse and Grill.
Okay.
It's right in the middle. The easiest thing, look for the cars and go to the middle, and you'll find a place.
You'll know where everybody is out there.
Right. And I hope people will come out to listen to the opportunities that could be available. And we have some interest from local developers which is good to have it back in-house, so
Yes.
to speak, in our community. So things are looking up, but we certainly appreciate feedback. And we want people to know what we're thinking of how we can re-energize the Sherwood Shopping Center, and that's April 26th, again from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock.
Well, maybe a good opportunity to point out, I know you've said it before, Mayor, like when council is making decisions on things and voting, that affects you as well, and the people that are making those decisions. And then you look at the Sherwood Shopping Center, someone from out of town bought it, and it kind of fell into disrepair.
Right. Well, they didn't see it. They don't see it.
Right.
They may use it for a different opportunity for them. But when you take it back to its home, right here in the community,
now decisions that are being made on it
are affecting all of us.
Yep. Right here in town.
So I hope people will come out, listen, and hopefully will be re-energized themselves about the possibilities.
All right. Well, Mayor, thank you so much. Anything else you'd like to add in this morning?
I think we've covered a lot of bases today.
I think we did too.
Just keep thinking spring.
Oh, I know what we wanted to talk about. This past weekend, Queen's Pageant.
Oh, yes. We can talk about that. I get an opportunity. It was on April 13th. We had the Queen's Pageant, a wonderful queen in court. Then the following day is something near and dear to me. I have the opportunity to chair, and I have a wonderful committee behind me that chairs the Golden Couple event. These are for couples married 50 plus years of wedded bliss. And this year was the second decade. The first decade, the grand champion was the Melvins, Gene and Harold Melvin. This decade was the second decade, which means we've been in operation for over 20 years now. And we brought back those champions to compete with each other. And I'm happy to say that Jake and Shirley Hefner were named the grand champion Golden Couple of the decade. And,
congratulations to them.
Oh, and the average age of the Golden Couples present that weekend was 57.3 years of wedded bliss.
Wow.
That means they're married to each other for that many years. And they got a perfect score, which means that they must know each other pretty well. So congratulations. We also, Dotton and Ted Ristoff received the Spirit Award. They brought cheerleaders with them, and so they won the Spirit Award. We did have runner-ups, and everybody was a winner. Everybody walked away thanks to the kindness of our community. They all received a gift bag from local merchants, and I want to give a shout out to Trojan Florist. Every year they support us with flowers. Every year, Cater Henry Investment Group is our sole platinum sponsor, and they've done this from the inception of 1999. You know, people don't realize it takes a lot of partnerships to make events so successful.
Yes.
This year, even for the second decade, we had some of our hotel chains participate in honoring our Golden Couple. So it was a wonderful community-type event.
All right, so that gets two more things under our belt for the Strawberry Festival as we move towards it.
Absolutely. We have now a royalty court.
Okay, Mayor, thank you so much. This has been the Mayor's Report with Mayor Michael Beamish. I'm Clint Myers on 107.1 WTJN.